Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Next Gen podcast. Today we have our very first finance bro on the show. 6 figures, 6 foot, blue eyes, guys, you know what I'm saying? As someone who studies finance as well, it's pretty cool seeing someone who's like actually going beyond like the actual degree and like putting into application and going even beyond what we learn in finance, which I think is really cool. And I'm humbled by his presence. He has, I think he hit 10K followers recently, and I'm really grateful he came on the show today. So let's welcome Johnty to the show, guys. Woo!
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, all good, man. I guess we'll just get straight into it. Like, why this path?
I think when I started it, I've always had an interest in mental health. So, and then I was starting to look at what did I want to study and what sort of career path did I want to follow. And looking at investment banking was sort of the first port of call for me. The big thing for me is that it's so competitive to get a role in investment banking, and I was looking for a point of differentiation.
Right.
So I looked to build a platform, which I've now built through the Analyst Agenda, and pitch my content in a different light rather than just standard finance content. I wanted to pitch it in a way which was integrating mental health. It's a pretty overlooked aspect of finance, so I figured it was a good point of differentiation, mainly to stand out on my CV, really. And yeah, it's sort of just grown from there. So pushing towards 25,000 followers now, and the content has changed over the time, but it's grown with how I've changed as well over these sort of past few months. So it's been really interesting, just riding the wave, I guess.
Yeah. Did you only start recently?
I started in September last year.
Whoa.
It took me a really long time to grow a proper audience.
Right.
Like it took me until I'd say January or February to hit 1,000 followers. So it was quite a grind, and it was more something. It was more like just a fun thing. It wasn't really. I was just posting content, and if people saw it, people saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But like, when you say you were always interested in mental health, what sparked that curiosity?
Being completely transparent, I've had mental health difficulties, and I think it's definitely being talked about more, but it certainly there's a lot of stuff that needs to be improved to create a more mainstream figure, and the whole ethos around like a finance bro is like a stoic sort of type A personality, doesn't talk about what's wrong. It's always about like what's perfect about themselves. And I saw that opportunity to sort of shift that a bit. But I would say honestly, I'm not focusing on that as much now.
Okay.
But yeah, that's sort of where the core of it stemmed from was I'm interested in finance now. I want to be different when I go into an interview. So I don't know, I'll sort of see where this goes, but yeah.
So are you still like driving those core values in your content today as well?
Yeah, I stick relatively based to pretty normal, good human traits. And I don't sort of vocalize the mental health aspect as much. But it's certainly still I prioritize my own mental health behind closed doors as well, so it's still something that is there, just not as prevalent.
Okay. I saw on Instagram there was this one piece of content. I think it's like the trend, like it's to do with the LARPing trend. You're either Swiss Alps 9 to 5 investment banking, or you drop out of uni, you go all in on this like AI startup. You got your M5 Max, your Claude plan. Which one would you say you are? Option A or B?
It's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
I've been drawn both ways through creating content. There's been obviously that rise of startup culture has
definitely
sort of been very prevalent. So there's that, but then there's also the high-end sort of finance content as well, and it has had me quite torn. Like, do I want to go and do fintech, or do I want to go into high finance? And yeah, I would say I lean more towards option A.
Right.
Being a finance bro, I think like I'm just more attuned to the lifestyle of a more traditional lifestyle, and less so into putting all my eggs in one basket with a startup and risking it all. Yeah.
Dang. So like, in regards to the Analyst Agenda, what is like the ultimate goal? And like, for those of, like, if you don't mind explaining to like people that don't know what is the Analyst Agenda as well.
So the Analyst Agenda it's nothing more than a social media content channel, and the shifts that I've made in my content have sort of reflected my personal growth shifts. The biggest goal for me is to democratize education about the industry. It is quite a sort of mysterious industry, I'd say. Like, being an insider is a very sort of big deal, and it's quite hard to understand the whole finance industry from the outside because of the lingo and everything they use. They talk about it with like elite culture of using certain language to keep the people they don't want out. And I don't think that's the exact same with finance, but it is kind of similar, and it is hard to understand that industry if you don't have someone to break it down for you. So I've focused on breaking down concepts and making it more digestible to understand finance.
Damn. And is this targeted towards like a younger audience, or like?
Yeah, I've spent my time figuring out where I want my key audience to be, and my key audience really is university students looking to get into finance, and then as well a little bit early career professionals. So there's sort of that mix across the board.
Right, bro, that's gutsy. Like, early career professionals?
Yeah, I mean, these are sort of the things you have to do. You have to be ambitious. Like, if you don't chase it, then you're not going to get it. That's like quite a cringy motivational quote, but it's just putting yourself out there and doing the thing that has to be done.
And when you say your content reflects the shifts you've had in your life, like, what are those shifts and what triggered them?
I've learned a lot about myself over the past 8 to 10 months, and those changes have, as I say, they've reflected in my content. I've learned about myself through, like, I've been diagnosed with ADHD, so understanding what comes with that diagnosis and how to work with it rather than against it. That's the main thing for me.
Damn. So how do you say you work with ADHD?
Well, certainly I'm a very, very attuned to being a systems thinker, so setting up systems that allow me to automate or to streamline my workflows, whether it be just with planning my day or education or content, anything like that. Building the systems that are complex enough to run properly, and then also not overcomplicating things, and finding the balance.
Damn. So, like, coming back to finance, how does like someone like our age get into like the finance sector?
I think in New Zealand we have a really good advantage because New Zealand is such a small world. Your networking really extends your ability and the opportunities you can allow for yourself. You can put yourselves in really powerful rooms just through knowing people, and yeah, on one of your recent episodes, your guest talked about your network and how it's who you know, not what you know. And I do believe in that. Obviously, you have to have the skills.
Definitely,
To then continue those connections and to be able to back up your end of whatever agreement you're in. But definitely, it's networking is the door that you need to be able to open to then open up a career. And it applies across a lot of different industries, but finance is really important for that.
So with finance, would you say it's not necessarily about the skill then?
The big thing I'm seeing now in my research and creating content and understanding the markets is AI is replacing a lot of the brute force tasks, the financial modeling, the algorithmic trading, all of that stuff. That's all being automated, and people think now, okay, a junior role at an investment bank or a hedge fund is essentially obsolete, but where you come in is with your soft skills. So yes, you can be good at networking, but you can't entirely rely on your networking. It's not that having the skills is not valuable anymore. It's a shift in what those valuable skills are.
So what would you say like the skills are now?
The most prevalent one would be soft skills, being able to engage with clients or customers and create a connection that truly feels genuine. Because in the world of AI slop, all of that sort of stuff, if I go into a website and I know it's vibe coded, it instantly changes my perception of the website. And I get that a lot with brands that reach out to me. If they email me and there's M dashes or stuff like that, it instantly changes how I perceive their pitch, even if it's a valuable pitch. And so it's the soft skills of, if you translate that into an investor relation context, being able to actually engage with your investors, and yes, you have to go through all of the standard terminology, but actually being able to connect with your clients, your investors, is so crucial beyond being able to use an Excel spreadsheet, because AI is automating that. And I think also being able to control, now AI is doing the bulk of the work. With coding, coders need to be able to analyze the code and understand, okay, like, is this actually correct? It's done it for me, but is it correct? And it's the same with the financial model. Yes, it might look all good, but you still have to have the skills to know, okay, this formula isn't correct, or this shouldn't be here. So it's the soft skills that go beyond purely technical.
So do you think that like in like in 1 to 2 years, like, because I feel like personally, I feel like AI will probably be better than 99% of the people doing the jobs. So do you think like at that level, it's more of how can like someone that's just coming out of uni utilize AI and the soft skills that will make like a top candidate for a job, or like what do you think it is going to look like?
Yeah, I think the big thing is that obviously, yes, AI is progressing at an incredible rate, and for people leaving university, it's about building the toolbox of skills that you can apply across different aspects of your life, whether it be in your professional career or in your personal life, and stringing those things together. There's a term that I use, which is now AI is sort of, it rewards generalists more than experts. And that shift, I think of it as having a skill set that is a mile wide and an inch deep, instead of being a mile deep and an inch wide, instead of knowing everything about one topic and only knowing that. It's about having a breadth of skills beyond maybe your profession or your main interests, to really harness everything that AI and these new technologies have to offer.
Dang, bro, that's like so wise. Dang. Wait, say it again.
Being a mile wide and an inch deep instead of being a mile deep and an inch wide.
Well, you just came up with that?
No, I actually saw it. I can't remember who the creator was, but it really resonated with me. And out of context, that can sound a bit marginal saying that, but when you understand what it's actually talking about, then it actually hits quite hard.
It's sort of like a jack of trades and
master of none.
Master of none.
Yeah. Very similar.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, my career goal is to go into buy-side finance.
Okay, what's that?
So obviously you've got your investment banks, private equity, hedge funds, venture capital.
Yeah.
They're broken into sections of what side of the market they essentially sit on. So your investment banks, they help with transactions of businesses, all that stuff. So that's your sell side. And then your hedge funds are on the buy side. So that is, it's pretty simple. It's buying different investment vehicles and sort of utilizing them. But so there's two sides of the finance industry, which is buy side and sell side. And I'm specifically interested in the buy side because I enjoy doing research behind stocks. I'm not, I wouldn't say, like, certainly not a quantitative mathematician or anything like that. And more of my work remains interested in understanding investments, understanding how they work and how they interact with the market.
Oh, okay. So are you like in sharesies or?
Yeah, I've got sharesies. People ask if I do like day trading, stuff like that. I don't do day trading. I have like paper trading accounts, but I haven't spent time to build skills in that field, just because it doesn't particularly stand out to me.
Definitely. Seems like you know so much about the finance industry. Like, how do you educate yourself?
A lot of it is self-learning. It's knowing where to look because the resources are out there, and it's just understanding how you consume knowledge and then where to find that knowledge. There's a real rise in the education around preparing for investment banking interviews and all of that, and that is becoming quite a big industry, beyond actually the simplicity of just understanding where the good resources are. And yes, not all of them will be free, but that's just something, you have to spend money to make money. And if you truly think that you can go big without spending any money, whether it be creating a business or educating yourself to build a career, it doesn't work like that without spending any money.
But like for me personally, okay, how, because like education, because some people don't like uni, right? And when they think of education, they think of like this boring, monotonous task. So like how do we get people, or like how does someone educate themselves in any topic, or like a topic they like, in a way that it doesn't feel boring to them?
The Instagram algorithm does it really well. You can learn a lot in a 60-second reel. That's what I've leveraged. But there is a real stigma around university being really boring and not valuable anymore. And I think, yes, the value of university is a little bit up for question, up for debate, but ultimately there's more people pushing the don't go to uni, like uni's just not valuable at all. But if you know what you want to do and that's what makes you tick, then that's what you should chase. Happiness doesn't revolve around creating a startup or having a media agency or anything like that. if that's the thing that makes you tick, then you chase that. But if it's not, and other things make you tick, then it's natural to chase those things. So it's about understanding yourself, and some people aren't made for uni, and that's why they drop out or they don't go in the first place. But you have to understand yourself instead of taking the influence of external forces, and that's the negative thing about social media, is that those forces are so strong. People saying don't go to uni, or uni is the only way, that, you know, there's a real clash of perspectives. And so it really roots back to understanding yourself. And yes, you'll have people giving you opinions. That's their opinion, and to some degree they can be valuable, but also, yes, you have to really understand, does uni make me tick? And if so, then that's fine. You know, I'm fine with that. I'm not stuck in the rat race, for want of a better term.
How do you, like, is there a certain way to know when something makes you tick?
Yeah, so I got given a really good analogy from someone in the finance industry, and we were talking about ADHD, and his view on it is, if you have your computer open, having ADHD, you have 1,000 tabs on your computer open, and there will typically be 1 or 2 or 3 tabs that stick out to you beyond all the other boring ones. There will be a few that really stick out to you that naturally click. It's a natural sort of sensation that you will get, that's like, I enjoy this, so I want to pursue this. There are certain things that are just always going to be boring, and you're just going to have to push yourself to do them. But the things that you can really take the furthest are just the ones that you're naturally passionate about.
Damn. Have you ever met people that say that they're not, like, they have no passion, or like they're not interested in anything?
I don't surround myself with people like that, but the people, that's not to say those people are bad people. They just might not have had, they probably haven't spent the time to consider what actually makes them tick. If someone says, if you ask them what are their interests, and they say, I don't know, it's not because they're stupid, it's probably because they just haven't given it thought.
Damn. You know, you said something that really struck out to me though. You said the question of university is up for debate. Like, why?
Because of all these, the internet money craze, being able to, like, so many, you can start a business, and yes, it's very hard, but it's so much more accessible. And to link it to finance, if you have a trading strategy, and this is like a day trading sort of thing, which I'm not an expert in, but you have a day trading strategy, and if that's a winning strategy, you would guard it with your life, because if you provide that to lots of other people, the strategy in itself becomes less effective because more people have access to it. So when you translate that into university, or is university valuable, you have AI is so accessible to people. You know, you can build a business idea with AI so easily, beyond actually having a really good idea. AI will do that for you. And so yes, everything is more accessible, but it also means it's much harder to create a successful business, because everyone else is able to do the same thing. So that's the sort of, everyone can make a business, and so people think they should, even if actually maybe they haven't thought about it, and they actually are just better going through tertiary education and finding a stable job. And it sounds boring, but that makes a lot of people tick. So it's not, you're not a bum if you stay in university. I think that's a big stigma that a lot of people have, is you're stuck in the rat race, or you have no ambition. It's not like that, honestly speaking.
Yeah, your aspect is pretty different from like the it's not status quo, but like I think it's the new gen status quo.
Yeah, it's definitely building. And
Yeah.
in a lot of your previous episodes,
Yeah.
that's sort of who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I'm not a non-believer in entrepreneurship. I love entrepreneurship, and that's specifically why I want to go into the buy side of finance,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
that deals with helping those sort of businesses
Yeah.
grow. So through hedge fund, obviously that's more trading and managing. But I'm also very interested in venture capital, which is
cool.
because there are so many good ideas.
Yeah.
And then financing, that's the cap on
exactly
how people can scale their businesses. So there are so many good ideas that don't get past a certain stage because
the money.
they just don't have the money.
Yeah.
And so personally, I'm just not entrepreneurial enough to take the risk to start a business.
Yeah.
But I'm
Generous.
my values are rooted in helping those people who are, and doing that in something that really makes me tick, which is finance, and doing that through venture capital.
Right.
That's where I sit, rather than so I'm certainly not someone who disagrees with entrepreneurship. I love it. I'm all for it. It's just my interest sits in a different seat to the entrepreneurs, and I still want to help the entrepreneurs.
Damn, that's pretty cool. Wait, are you the first? Nah, I think you're like one of the first with this mentality, like, because most of the people, like as you mentioned, are more like you don't necessarily need to go to uni, whereas you're like you can choose either or. Like the path you choose is totally up to you, and what makes you tick. Like it may not necessarily be taking a risk, but like the thing is, do you encourage, like, would you say you encourage everyone to at least try and like take a risk, start a business, or like is it you don't necessarily need to take a risk, just live comfortably?
No, you have to take risks. If you're not, there's only two speeds in life, and that's forwards and backwards. There's no stationary. So if you feel like you're comfortable where you are, you're falling backwards. So I fully subscribe to the idea of taking risks. You literally need to take risks every single day, every week, every month, and they don't have to be massive. But
Definitely.
being a passive sort of action taker is not going to get you where you want to be. So
Okay.
yes, you have to take risks. You won't get places that you want to be.
Yeah.
If you are not already in a place and you want to be there,
Yeah.
what's standing between that is you taking risks. And yes, there are different scales depending on that location, but you need to take risks to be able to get there. If you're already there, then that's fine, but if you're not, if you're thinking about the fact that this is where you want to be, then you have to take risks to get there.
Right. So it's not necessarily, if you don't choose the entrepreneurial route, it means that your life won't be any more riskier in any shape or form.
Oh, certainly. I mean, in the finance industry, there's so many risks you take towards building a career you want, and it's the same with any other. If you study any other degree, there are so many risks you have to take to get to where that eventual point is for you.
That's
and
true.
I say that because there's no blanket mindset everyone can have. So you can't put over 50% of people that they should start a business and not go to uni and do that, and then 50% of people have to go to uni and they have to work for those entrepreneurs. It's like everyone is individual, so you have to have a tailored idea of where you want to be, and that's why I'm never going to push a single ideology that specifically says do this one thing, because it's not viable.
That's true. Damn. Spoken like a really wise man. But on the note on risks, like what's the biggest risk you've taken in terms of like, we'll keep it narrow for now, like the analyst agenda.
I think the biggest risk for me was The first one, there would be quite a few, and the biggest one initially was obviously starting, and that's a pretty general thing. Most people will say the biggest risk I took was starting with a business or doing this, and the biggest risk beyond then was believing in myself and pushing to grow, because I enjoy quick action. So when it took me so long to get to 1,000 followers, I was kind of like, is it really worth it? I mean, it's not my be-all and end-all. I'm a uni student at the end of the day, and I'm building towards a professional career. And so the risk I took was to sort of double down and be consistent with how I post and who I post to and the message I'm trying to send. That would be the biggest risk I've taken, because it was a risk between either being passive and posting once every week and not putting much effort into it, or actually grasping it and really going for, now I want to grow, and I'm going to stack my odds so that no other variable can hinder my track towards growing or going viral or anything like that.
Damn. Right. Okay. You said so much. Okay. We'll start with this. How? Because I'm like you. I'm always wanting, like, I don't like things that take a lot of time. So how do you keep your focus on the goal even though it's taking so long? Like, how do you stay in the game?
Consistency, and it's again a very vague term, but it's so true, being consistent. And when I think about my goals, I have never had one single goal that I will go all in for. I'll go all in for my goals, but I will not have it a one goal that I'm working on. It's different goals that either lead to the same place or they're on a different track, but that's how I manage my own risk of I will work on different things. I'm working on creating content that does well, performs well, and speaks to the audience I want to speak to.
Yes.
But also building my CV, building my connections for the career I want to pursue.
And at the end of the day, both of those are still tied towards finance.
Yes, they are. It's just that obviously my audience is not the people I'm trying to be employed by. So it's a different persona that you have to assume. Being on social media, the stuff that does well, goes viral, is not the stuff that would really impress a hedge fund manager. So it's I work my goals essentially in parallel, depending on the stage of my life.
Dang. And then, oh shoot, I forgot him. Oh yeah, stacking your odds. Like, is that similar to the quote Elon gave, that luck is basically, it's not really luck, it's just you showing up. I paraphrase, you showing up every single day, that you can't fail. Is that basically it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's doing everything in your power to neutralize every other variable, and essentially at the end of the day, if you hit your goal or if you don't, there's nothing to say you could have done more, or there's other things that affected your outcome.
Damn.
It's all about you've done literally everything you can, and if you hit your goal, that's good, and if you don't, you can't say to yourself, X, Y, and Z impacted my result.
Are you always this determined?
I have peaks and troughs, honestly. There are so many times where I'll just be like, I just can't be bothered doing anything.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal. But
what do you do? What do you do in those times?
I make the most of it, because honestly, I'm a big advocate for a balanced lifestyle. And
definitely.
You can't really talk about a balanced lifestyle if you want to go into investment banking and work 120 hours a week. But that's what shifted me away from it, because investment banking was, if you search up finance careers, investment banking is the most talked about.
Yes.
But again, I allowed myself the time to actually understand what made me tick, and that's where I found sort of the buy side of the finance industry. But I think I don't beat myself up for relaxing. The grind culture is all like, if you're not working, then, and obviously I said, like, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. But
moving forward
it just
can
doesn't
also
mean you
be
have to be moving forward at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You just have to slowly move forward, and then there are times where you'll quickly move forward.
Damn. Crazy, man. So do you think, so then that means you're saying like the grind culture obviously has like gone a bit too far, would you say then?
I think there's been a sort of silver lining put on working so hard, and a lot of that is for social credibility. It's not actually for personal growth. If like people are just so driven by what they can display in the public instead of what is actually going to get them towards their goals. Like if you spend, like you're working on a website and you spend 12 hours straight and you don't get out of your desk, but is that 12 hours spent actually getting you towards monetizing that website? Or have you just done it so that you can essentially say, I worked for 12 hours, make a cool TikTok about it, and that's the problem with it. I have no issue with
That's so true.
Working hard is the way to succeed. When people say work smart, not hard, it's a mix of both. You have to work smart and hard. But there's just an aspect of the grind culture which has gone too far beyond genuine improvement and genuine progress in the eyes of satisfying public sort of image.
Dang. There was this lady I was talking to. She said that she says that businesses should either only be social enterprises or charities. Crazy. And I think what she said, like, she said that when you're running a business, there's like two archetypes that you can be in. Like you're either like doing things to get credibility. Oh shit, I don't remember the other one, but it kind of relates to what you said about like just doing things for the sake of being rewarded, and it's like at the end of the day that doesn't really help you achieve your goal.
I've been pulled by the sort of will to do something that doesn't really benefit me, but it would look cool on social media, or it would sound cool to tell a story about it. But that's when you sort of bring yourself back to square one and you ground yourself and say, well, actually, I'm going to evaluate this situation, and is it actually getting me towards where I want to be? If not, what do I need to change? That's a big thing for me.
Do you think, like, if you like faced yourself a few years ago, you knew this is like what you would be doing?
No. I didn't have much direction. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go because I've always had a plethora of interests. And actually finding there's a balance between finding the one that naturally ticks and also keeping your mind a little bit open, but like I'm interested in aviation as well. I'm interested in cars. Some of that I've actually bought into my
the menswear,
because I've sort of figured out, okay, that's how I can reintroduce it, but you know, could have just wanted to be a race car driver or wanted to be a pilot or anything like that, and so I'm still interested, and so if I open up my mind too much, I would probably get drawn to want to do those things. So it is also a little bit about brute forcing my way into, like, finance is my thing, so that's what I'm going to focus on. I can have these interests, but again, it's a balance game. If you're too open, you'll never know which path to choose, and so you just won't make a decision. Again, that's like being static, which is actually moving backwards. And then there's you push yourself into this one thing that you think is good, but actually you just don't have any aversion to actually doing well in that thing. And I saw that was actually kind of investment banking for me. Was it's not a super beneficial industry for society or for external people. You're just a middleman in between two entities. And so I sort of, well, that's maybe not what I really want to do, because I don't want to work 120 hours a week. And I'm interested in the corporate ladder. A lot of people see that as like a really bad, like, don't climb the corporate ladder, like just create your own business, you can go straight to the top. For me, I think there's it's a balance of, if you're an analyst at one of the bulge brackets, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, anything like that, you're just a number. But that's not how I wanted to sort of move into my career. And only once you've been there for 15 years and you're a managing director, then you start actually getting sort of more respect beyond being just a number. Whereas these other industries, relatively similar, but it's a bit less intense. There's other aspects at play, but that was the big thing for me. Was I realized actually investment bank, like I could force myself to do it, and I could get to where I want to be, but is it going to fulfill me the most, or is there other options? If there's not, and that's your only option, then you have to do what you have to do. But if you do have other options, then you have to evaluate them.
So like fulfillment is also a big part of the decision.
Yep. I made a recent video about your average net worth you would need to own certain cars.
Yeah, I saw.
And a lot of the comments were like, well, if I like the car, I'm happy to spend 85% of my net worth on it. And I agreed in the comments. I had to say, like, yes, I actually agree, because I mean, cars make me tick as well. I love cars. So I think the fulfillment aspect of it, there's such a like deeply rooted, like numerical, straight line. Success is success, but actually success does look different for everyone. Yes. And understanding how you fulfill that success changes from person to person. There's another thing about investment banking is it's too, like at the junior level as an analyst, you're only working with the numbers or the words on the PowerPoint or the spreadsheet, and there's no part where you get to exercise your soft skills as, you know, talking to clients and interacting with them. And so it's too linear. Whereas working in wealth management or private equity or venture capital, anything like that, there is a lot more talking to people and exercising those soft skills, which fulfills me. So.
Were you surrounded by like much finance like early years, or you just picked this up?
It's been primarily driven by myself. I've got connections, a lot of people close to me in the finance industry or worked in the finance industry, some at very, very high levels, but those have been connections that I've sort of utilised as I've become more interested and more knowledgeable and more credible, but ultimately it's been driven entirely by my own will to get into it.
Shoot. What is the number one misconception people have about the finance industry?
The biggest conception is around the finance, bro, I would say. Like, people either love it or hate it. But there's so many different people in the finance industry. It's not all just a 6-foot guy called Chad from Nantucket or whatever that used to play lacrosse.
Patagonia.
Too much talk about the lacrosse finance pipeline segue. But that's the biggest misconception, is that it's one archetype. to a certain degree, like stereotypes are made on the average
of course.
behavior of people or perception, but there is so much more than just lacrosse players.
What would you say is your favorite thing about finance?
I like the technicality of it. I love, although I said like I don't want to spend my entire life in a spreadsheet, I do enjoy like looking over the numbers, and then the thing for me is beyond that, how they correlate to providing real value. Like what does this number translate to in terms of intrinsic value beyond just the share price or just the valuation of that company. And
hey, so uni does help then.
it does. For me, it's helped. Definitely.
Because you did like the share price performance stuff as well, right?
So most of my Excel skills have come from outside of university. Because I'm first semester, just finishing up now, first semester, so most of my learning has been external to actually learning it in class.
Insane. Bro was probably better than me when I started uni. Dang. And did you do like present value and future value stuff as well? Yeah,
I do quite a lot. I do a lot of equity research just on my own to build a bit of a portfolio, and dealing with different models and different metrics. Three statement models, DCFs, comps models, capital asset pricing models. But it's somewhat a hobby for me. That makes me sound ultra boring, but
that's legit.
It is interesting for me, and then obviously it has a practical skill beyond fulfilling me.
Damn. What do you do for fun though when you're not looking at spreadsheets?
Honestly, that's the time I spend relaxing. That's the time I'm sort of not. That's the time I allow for myself to just idle instead of being full throttle the entire time. Because burnout's a big thing, and you talked about it in your previous episode, and it will happen if you don't actually look after yourself to some degree. So I mean, in my spare time, it depends where I am. Up here in Auckland, if it's raining and like it is today, and I'm in my apartment, I can't do much.
Yeah, that's true.
So I typically just revert to watching YouTube or scrolling. But if I'm at home, then there's a little bit more to do, going outside and different activities. But there's not a specific thing I would say I do in my off time. It's a range of different things. But there's a clear differentiation between when I'm working and when I'm not, and that's big for me.
Nice. Dang. And then I guess coming back to like the educating the next gen, like the younger gen, what would you say is like your one piece of advice to them?
Remaining curious and trying to do work that is genuinely moving you towards your goal or towards another objective. If you're just doing stuff for the sake of doing it and it's not actually providing value other than a short sense of gratification, then ultimately what is the value of that action? And if that's all you base your life on, doing things that are superficial, then you will never fulfill yourself in the long run. You might fulfill yourself in the short run doing things that seem cool at face value, but that only lasts for a very finite amount of time. So being able to do things that truly work towards your goals, your aspirations, and building something that is tangible, like doesn't literally have to, like, you don't literally have to be able to touch it, but building something that you can, like, as a metric that you can sort of refer to rather than just something you've done but nothing really comes out of the end of that process.
Bro gave me like a full book and condensed in like a few sentences. Dang. You've heard it from the man, guys. Pretty wise young man at heart. Personally, I learned a lot in regards to like the grind culture and also the world of finance. Yeah, it's a pleasure having you, man.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's a wrap, bro.
Sweet.
Good chat.